But let me come to the studio. We have Dr. Braimah here to try to understand how they are able to justify what they seek as far as the ECG request is concerned. He is the managing director of the Ghana Water Company Limited. Now, when I said I got scared when I heard the comparison or the example being given with bottled water, that we are ready to buy that and we don't seem to want to buy at similar price from you. Why I said I got scared was that not too many of us can afford bottled water, and not in the quantities that we need water to use. So if the suggestion is that we are going to use that to justify bringing the price to such a level, then the poor is going to be in trouble. Even the rich may suffer. How do you justify what you are requesting?
I don't think that comparison means that the water tariff should go to that level. Because the bottled water, the sachet water, they also had to go through some processes to get to the level. We are saying that we're just comparing and to see what the differences are. We are a public utility owned by the people of Ghana, 100%. And so there are certain expenditure that if they were not on Ghana Water Company's books, can't bring the tariff low. I keep telling people that our current tariff, for me, is one of the best within the sub-region, if you really want to look at them. But what the other, like Braimah is saying, he has equally failed to tell people what those utilities that are performing the way they perform get from citizens, also from maybe the government. Our tariffs historically, not today, historically have been very, very low. And so current requests is an accumulation of things that should have been done over the years. Let me just give you one example. 2013, January, I can remember, I went to Savlugu to look at their system, because they take bulk water from Ghana Water Company and redistribute to the people of Savlugu. It was a MEDA project, and so they wanted to examine or pilot such a system. So there was a private operator that was running it. They were buying a cubic meter of water from Ghana Water Company at 86 pesos, and then distributing to the citizens of Savlugu at 2 cedis. And so at that point, I wanted to actually look at what GWCL's records are. If these people are selling it at this level and making good money, 86 pesos, what is GWCL making out of this? Then a story can be told. And if it means trying to separate the bulk production and distribution, then probably a recommendation is made academically at that time. Savlugu is very close to Tamale. So there was a problem. People live in Savlugu and work in Tamale. People live in Tamale and work in Savlugu. So they started comparing their water bills. And so there were agitations. What I'm trying to tell you is that historically, the tariffs were low. But for us as a utility, you don't need to hide anything from anybody. The PURC has a responsibility. They regulate trade strong people. So they are watching over a tripod system. You have the utility, you have government, and you have the consumer. To make sure that everybody is satisfied. Nobody takes advantage of the other. Government is so strong in this equation. And so they are also there So now they are doing consultation. We are saying that we have these cost build-ups. And if these cost build-ups are supposed to be catered for, this will be our tariff. Again, the 300% the media is throwing out. GWCL has 3 scenarios, but we just decided to go to the market with the biggest one. Probably that will create the kind of environment that we want. One, we are saying that if the government policy of 2015 that says that all loans contracted, all grants taken by government to invest in the water systems are supposed to be all lent to Ghana Water Company to pay. And so you have to escrow some money into an escrow account that is controlled by Ministry of Finance and Ghana Water Company. Then they must speak to PURC and get PURC to put a tariff line so that specific amount will be escrowed. And that's what we will use to pay Ministry of Finance. But if there is nothing there, and we are supposed to take money from our operational system, operational cash to do that, it's going to be a difficulty. So immediately, that on-lend loans are taken off, about 6.1 billion Ghana cedis. It comes down from the 300 to about 250. Quickly. We are also saying that the assets belong to the state. But if you begin to on-lend this to us, it's like, yes, you are a company, the asset belongs to you, but the asset belongs to government. Ghana Water Company thought their asset was 2.2 billion cedis. As of 2016, thereabouts. When we did re-evaluation of the assets of Ghana Water Company, it came to 17.2 billion. So from 2.2, that we were thinking that's our asset. So if you are looking for any return on your asset, you are using 2.2 to calculate. Today is 17.2 billion. As of 2018, 2019. What it means is that your capital investment costs has gone high. And if it is not catered for, you will continue to run down the systems. We are telling PURC there is a way of debating and working on how to resolve this one if we sit on the table. We are saying that if we take only Ghana Water Company and DISAL, and to be frank with you, all the 3 scenarios have desalination also in there because it's a water purchase agreement signed, Parliament actually approved it. So if we just take GWCL operation alone and then desalination, we come to about 150%. And so these are the 3 scenarios. And we think that, look, let's be fair to the story. Let's give the 3 scenarios, then we can work on it. But remember, VRA is asking for increase in tariff. Grigo is asking for increase in tariff. ECG is asking for increase in tariff. The structure of Ghana Water Company is that we do production, we do transmission, and we do distribution. So the 3 different units that you are seeing smaller, if you had aggregated them, like we used to have VRA doing all, the tariff of Ghana Water Company will not have been seen as that high relative to the other ones. Also remember that the tariff ECG is asking for is a pass-through cost for Ghana Water Company.
Meaning what?
We pay, our systems rely on ECG. And we are treated as commercial entity, not a company that is running water for you at a lower tariff. They charge us as a commercial entity. So these are things that we can discuss and bring the values actually down. And so we are saying that if...
When you say bring the values down, you are saying that the 334% demand will come down to about what?
It depends. It can even come to 0.
Can come to 0?
Yes. That's what I said at the beginning, that the current tariff, if some cost elements or cost items are taken away.
Okay.
the tariff are enough. All our debts, those things that were incurred at the time that tariffs were so low, if all those things are taken off, but if we are supposed to do all this, one, most of our systems are over 50 years old. The pumps, the pipes, and most of, if you go to Choco and those places, they are complaining about water because their systems have encrusted. There are steel pipes, and because of the position, all the time, the sizes of the pipe have become smaller. So you can't push enough volume of water through. You have to replace them. And the places have become built areas. If you want to replace it, it's costs. How do you do that? So these are things that when we begin to discuss, then we realize that some of these costs, if they are taken off, one, if our debts overhangs those times, or they call them legacy debts, are taken away, if the on-lend loans are no longer on lend to Ghana Water Company, if we say that the capital investments are going to be taken care of by the state, all these things will go down.
And what you're talking about,
the citizens.
What you're talking about, is that realistic?
Oh, it's realistic when we sit down. It's realistic. I have, in one of our sitting, told PURC, after all this, we must sit down and look at another innovative way of financing the water supply, because countries are doing it. And we can equally do that, because government has one bowl where they pick money and distribute to other agencies. There are agencies that will benefit when Ghana Water Company is very efficient.
Okay.
And then let me just say the last thing. You see, our citizens are those that pollute our water. So if you citizens take the responsibility not to pollute the water, we are not going to increase the usage of chemical like we are doing currently in Wager. From 200 bags of aluminum sulfate a day, we are now using 300. And that's an increase in cost. And this is citizens who are polluting the environment. So when we do that, so that's why I'm saying that PRC is regulating the three of us. Each of us has a responsibility. Once we take our responsibility up seriously, some of these costs can be controlled.
All right.